Welcome to today's discussion on a thought-provoking topic in ethical philosophy, the application of contractarian ethics to the treatment of animals, specifically within the confines of zoos and aquariums. Contractarianism, traditionally aimed at human interactions within society, is based on the idea of mutual agreements and consent. But how does this framework fare when applied to non-human animals who are incapable of giving consent? Historically, it was rooted in the writings of Thomas Hobbes and has been refined by thinkers like Martha Nussbaum and Mark Rowlands. Contractarianism helps us navigate our moral obligations. Hobbes, in Leviathan, argued that without a social contract, human life would be solitary and brutal, thus justifying the surrender of some freedoms for societal protection. This theory, originally meant to establish peace and stability among humans, is now also being tested for its applicability to animal ethics, particularly within the controlled environments of zoos and aquariums. The core of this debate centers on whether animals, which cannot participate in any form of contract due to their non-rational nature, should be included within the scope of moral consideration. Mark Rowlands and others argue that vulnerability to harm, not rationality, should grant animals a place in the moral community. This shifts the discussion from a purely human-centered contract to one that encompasses all sentient beings capable of experiencing pain and suffering. This theoretical shift brings us to the crux of today's topic. Can the captivity of animals in zoos and aquariums be morally justified under contractarian ethics? The traditional justification for such institutions hinges on the benefits they provide: education, conservation, and recreation. However, from a contractarian viewpoint that acknowledges animals as part of the moral community, these justifications face significant ethical scrutiny. It compels us to ask if the educational and the conservation outcomes truly compensate for the potential harm and deprivation of liberty to the animals involved. Critically, if we accept that animals are part of the moral community, their welfare should be weighed as heavily as human interests. This raises profound questions about the nature of the benefits provided by zoos and aquariums. Are these benefits significant enough to outweigh the ethical costs? And if the primary benefits are more about recreation and less about survival or conservation, the moral grounds become even more contentious. In essence, the application of contractarian ethics to animal welfare challenges us to reevaluate how we interact with and manage animal populations in captivity. It pushes for a transformation in zoo and aquarium management practices, advocating for environments that prioritize animal welfare and respect to the intrinsic value of all living beings. As we wrap up this discussion, it's clear that while contractarian ethics provides a useful framework for considering animal rights, it also exposes its limitations and the need for incorporating more robust ethical theories. Like rights-based, capabilities approach, and utilitarian approaches, they all offer alternative perspectives that might better address the ethical complexities of animal captivity, guiding us towards more humane and justified practices in how we care for and protect these non-human members of our shared world. Thank you for joining this exploration into the depths of ethical philosophy and how it extends beyond human society and to the very way we treat our animal counterparts.